let's take a quick look at the meditation bench. So it's got fixed legs, no hinges. We use a real light, solid pine for the legs, and we can do that because we're not using hinges. If we were to have hinges here, we would be required to use hardwood for the legs because you need the hardwood to hold the screws to make the hinges secure. We find that by the time we make a hinged bench with good hinges and a good connection with the legs, it becomes very heavy. These are always under 4 pounds, usually about 3.5 pounds, depending on the size and the density of the particular piece of wood. So we're using birch plywood for the top, the part that you sit on. And if you notice, there's a recess here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a groove. And these legs are milled to fit tightly into that groove. They're glued, and then there are 3 long screws that go in from the top. These are extremely sturdy and stable. And we've never had a failure, but if there was one, we would just replace it for you. What else can I tell you? We've got a thick pad. It's got 2 densities in here, and it comes out to just about 1.5 inches of padding. We use a combination of closed cell and open cell foams to give you the support that you need, but also the comfort for a longer sitting practice. We get really good feedback on the way the bench feels. So the way it works is like this. When it's going this way, so if you were sitting here and your knees were here, your feet would be going underneath the bench. This would be the lower setting. And if you turn it around like this and sit on it, that's a higher setting adjustment. And it just allows you to fine-tune the way the bench feels for your body. Some people prefer it this way. Probably most people prefer it on the lower position, but it works both ways, and so it gives you a choice. Okay, this is actually the small size bench. This is a medium. There's not a lot of difference, but it's there. It's, it's about 3/8 to 1/2 inch difference in the height. You can see the difference right there. It's the same setup. And then just to compare, this is our large size. And this is a little bit taller. And when you're sitting, it makes a big difference. Okay, so there's about a 1/2 inch difference here, maybe a little bit less, or about a 1/2 inch difference between the medium and the small. And let's say you buy, and we use these fabrics. I mean, I love these fabrics. They're great. They're usually commercial upholstery fabrics with woven designs. We don't use prints. And we choose them for their durability, but also they need to be rough. If they're shiny and slippery, it's harder to be comfortable on the bench, so we're going for function and longevity. Let's say you get a bench from us and you don't think it's the right size. There are ways to adjust the way you sit on it, and we talk about that in other videos, but basically contact us right away. And let's say you just feel that you need a taller bench. That does happen. So this is our tallest bench. That's the tall one, the way we make it. But if you want a custom one, we'll make you a big one. This is a custom one that's going out today. This is 3/4 of an inch taller. That's what the customer specified. It's kind of huge, but when you would need a big bench like this, would be as if you're kneeling on something really thick like a zabuton that can kind of compress, and it's it's like a big pillow. It's usually filled with cotton or wool or kapok. What happens is when you're kneeling on a zabuton, your legs aren't on this firm surface, and that's great. It's going to be more comfortable, but they sink down a little bit, but the legs of the bench sink down real deeply into the zabuton, so it makes it feel like your bench is too short. So if you're going to be sitting on something really thick, or if you're less flexible, get the tall bench. And if the tall bench doesn't work, let us know, and we'll make you a custom at no extra charge. Sometimes people want a little bench. This is an extra small. This is also a custom that happens to be going out today. That's why I shot this video, because we've got a couple unusual ones. This one's really low. This is good if you're a smaller person. You got to be petite. You've got to have real flexible ankles. And you got to like being low to the ground. And some people do. Actually, I'm tall, but I actually like a really low bench. But see, this is about 1/2 inch lower than our standard small. So that we're calling this an extra small. It's not something we stock, but we're happy to make it for you if that's what you need. So if you have any questions, you can just use the comments below the video, or if you're seeing this on our website, then use the contact form for the website. And I hope that helps. It's a sturdy bench. It'll last you your lifetime, and it's very comfortable.